Hey guys, it is Monday morning, and it's a special Monday morning, maybe even a little bit of a weird Monday morning. As I record this, it is the morning of November 25th, and while Christmas is a month away, I'm recording my Christmas episode now. The reason I'm doing that is that December is an incredibly hectic and demanding month of the year. And I've decided that for the month of December, I'm going to be putting all of my podcasts on hold, returning early in January 2025. So if this comes off as a little bit too early for you, maybe you want to wait a couple weeks before listening. If not, enjoy it and carry it with you through the holiday season. And just know that I appreciate all the support that you've shown me so far. When I started this podcast, I really didn't think anybody was going to listen, but so many of you have been listening. So many of you have given me strong, positive feedback. It just made me feel so overwhelmingly supported, but at the same time so humbled that so many of you are taking meaning from this. Anyways, the story I wanted to share today is the true story, one that happened to me. You know, when I was 13, my family and I moved to Paraguay. And we got there about a month or so before Christmas. The money that my father was expecting would be waiting for us there. It wasn't. So those first few weeks were really, really tough. Beyond just tight. You know, we had a roof over our heads, but our house had no furniture and we had next to nothing to eat. In fact, we ate bananas, no joke, 3 meals a day for just about that whole month. Tough times. But still, as a kid, my main worry was Christmas, wondering if there was going to be decorations. Would there be gifts? And as stupid as it might sound after a month of eating bananas, I was wondering, is there going to be a special holiday meal? All of these things were really, really important to 13-year-old me. But my parents were super, super stressed out, so I kept my questions to myself. On Christmas Eve, I couldn't take it anymore, so I finally asked my dad if Paraguayans put up Christmas trees. And he said that they did, but they weren't quite like the trees we were used to in North America. He added that we could have a tree if my sister and I wanted one, and of course, we said yes. So Dad went outside and came back with a leafy branch from one of the trees in our yard, and he propped it up in a planter pot and told us that the leaves were natural decoration. But my mom wasn't quite satisfied with that because she wanted it to feel like a Christmas tree. So she started looking around the house for something that she could hang on it. Now, the stove in our house was one of those old-timey gas units that needed to be lit with matches. So maybe it was a byproduct of having eaten bananas for the whole month. We had tons of matches laying around. And I remember Mom taking a bunch of these match boxes and emptying the matches into a big bowl. And my sister asked, what are you doing, Mommy? And my mom didn't answer. Instead, she asked if my sister and I had any paper, colored pencils, crayons, things like that. And while we didn't have much, we did have some paper and some crayons. And my sister and I quickly ran to go get what we had. So Mom asked us to make the paper as colorful as we possibly could, saying that she had an idea, but she wasn't sure if it was going to work. So I remember grabbing handfuls of random crayons and just scribbling around and covering up several sheets of paper. And my sister was doing the same. And once we had a few sheets ready, my mom started wrapping each matchbox like a tiny Christmas present, using this homemade paper. And she tied a string around each box and hung a few on our makeshift tree. "There," she said with a big smile. Let's decorate the rest. So the three of us covered all the matchboxes in colorful paper and we hung them on the tree. And it might not have looked like much, but to us it was a Christmas tree, a real Christmas tree, and we were thrilled. And for the moment, we had completely forgotten about presents. On Christmas morning, my sister and I rushed down to look at our little tree, and underneath it were two small gifts. Each one of them was wrapped in the paper that we'd colored. And both of us felt tears coming. And at that moment, we heard our mother speaking from behind us. "Sorry, kids, but we couldn't do much this year." Then my dad came around the corner looking defeated. "Merry Christmas, kids. I'm so sorry." His voice shook a little. And at this point, my sister and I broke down crying and we threw our arms around them. That morning, for the first time, there was something more important than the presents we'd expected to find. Dad kept saying, "I'm so sorry." And Mom echoed, "Me too." But my tears weren't about the small presents. They were because I had nothing to give my parents in return. So now every year I wrap up a few matchboxes and I hang them on my tree. And every year they remind me of that Christmas in Paraguay. They remind me of my parents' love and how even with so little, we found a way to feel joy together. Most of all, they remind me that giving, especially from the heart, means so much more than receiving. You know, having told that story, I think of the things that really matter. The creativity that my mother showed, my parents' love, and the way we managed to find joy and build Christmas in the midst of a challenging time. But there's something else that this story reminds me of, which is how our emotions tie us to our memories. I tell this story and I feel the warmth, the sorrow, the gratitude, and the love of that morning. Showing these emotions connects me to the memory, and when I share it with others, it becomes an opportunity for connection with them too. I've learned that it's okay to show emotions while telling emotional stories. In fact, it's important. Vulnerability leaves room for others to support us, and in turn, it opens the door for them to share their own experiences. These feelings aren't a weakness. They're our strongest connection to the moments that shaped us. And that's why I'll keep hanging matchboxes on my tree. And that's why I'll keep telling this story. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this story gives you something to think of as we move through the holiday season. And until 2025, my friends, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, most especially take care of the people you love.